Hi, everyone. We are going to get started with our yoga class today. If you'd like to take yourselves into a comfortable position laying on your back on your mat, we will begin with our relaxation. If we take ourselves to the floor and find our place in the room, just ensure that you are in a position that's fitting your body's needs today. Listening to our backs as we lay flat. Perhaps we need to incorporate a pillow, a blanket, noticing if we need any support to help cushion the spine, the hips, the head, the neck. If we're feeling cold, use that throw so that we can be comfortable. Checking that our surroundings are allowing us to be in tune with ourselves and nothing else. If there are noises happening, if there are smells, anything external to our mat, becoming aware of them and then accepting them. Focusing on the internal. In particular, I just want us to notice any tension through those backs, any tightness through the necks, the shoulders, right up through the base of the skull into the head. Becoming aware of how our body feels today. I want us to give permission to ourselves to focus only on our body for the next little while. Noticing each pose as we enter it, and noticing each pose as we exit. Notice our breathing, how we can use it to aid in our transitions, to aid in our postures. Right now, as we're simply relaxing and bringing our mind to our mat, to our body, I want us to focus on our inhale as we draw the breath of air through the nose, and then focus on our exhale as we breathe out through the nose. Noticing how this calm, intentional breath slows our heart rate, cools our system, relaxes every nerve ending, every muscle in our body. Now from here, let's play with those shoulders as we inhale, lift the arms tall above the head, lengthening the arms, reaching them long, nice big stretch here. Maybe the arms are coming onto the ground, or perhaps they're feeling restricted and staying up towards the ceiling. Maybe you need to bend the arms, holding up the elbows instead. Really listening to the body and making the necessary modifications. Make the practice our own. Now, as we release those arms, take our time as we gather the knees into our chest. Nice big hug here. As we hold onto those legs, whether it's the shins or behind the knees on the thighs, and just start that gentle rock, meeting out any knots in the lower backs. Noticing if we've got any tightness or tension, any pinching through the front of the hips. Being aware of these things, not focusing on needing to fix them, but instead adjusting the body so that the poses are really fitting our needs for today. Let's keep a hold of those legs as we just roll the ankles, encouraging blood flow, good circulation all the way down to the toes and through the feet. Any cricks or cracks. We'll slowly bring those feet down to the ground, taking them about hips width distance apart, planting the knees so that they're pointing straight up to the ceiling as those arms come down by our sides, preparing for glute bridges. Anchor the shoulders into the mat, zip up long through the core. We inhale, squeeze the glutes, lift the hips up. Exhale, slowly we roll down, one vertebrae at a time. We'll do this 2 more times. Inhale, lift the hips up. Exhale, really articulating through the spine, noticing any release, any section of the back that's stiff or open as we inhale, squeezing those glutes, stretching the hips, and exhale, lower. Let's maintain our control, our focus on our abs as we draw fingertips to side of head. Gently tuck the chin as we lift the head up with an inhale, abdominal work. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, lifting the head up. Exhale, release. Good. Inhale, lift. Exhale, 2 more just like this. Inhale, activating those lower abdominals, lifting up off the shoulders as we exhale, lower down carefully. Last one, inhale like this. Exhale, we're going to add a twist. Inhale, twist the left shoulder towards right knee. Exhale, lower. Inhale over towards the left. Exhale, we can incorporate a knee lift. As we inhale, lift, bring the right knee up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, cross towards that left leg as you lift it up. Exhale, nice and slow. Inhale, lift. Slight tuck of the chin as we cross the body. Exhale. Inhale, left. Exhale, 1 more each side. Inhale, activating those obliques. Exhale. 1 more time. Inhale, cross. Exhale, bring those arms down. Prepare for 1 more round of glute bridges. Walk those heels in a little closer, making sure it's the glutes that are doing the work here. As we inhale, lift the hips up, press down through those shoulders. Exhale, slowly lower. Control every action. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, release. 1 more time. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower down. Fantastic. We'll take our time as we come up and over, finding ourselves on hands and knees in tabletop. Making sure that we're still okay with our positioning on our mat. Taking the hands directly beneath our shoulders, spreading out the fingers. If that's uncomfortable for us today, we can take fists for wrists instead. Drawing in those bellies, taking spinal balance. Extend your right arm forward, thumb to the sky. Press that left leg back behind us, trying to draw that straight line from arm down through leg and lower. Left arm forward, right leg back. Energy out of the heel and energy out of the fingers. Lower down. Inhale, right arm, left leg. Exhale. Inhale, left. Exhale. Inhale, right. Finding that coordination, that balance. Exhale, down. Inhale, left. Exhale, 1 more each side. Nice flat back. Inhale, right. Exhaling, lower. And last one, inhale, left. Exhale. Now just hold our table. Find those cats and cows. Inhale, open, looking forward. Exhale, tuck the tailbone round the back. Inhale, open up to cow. Exhale, tuck the tailbone round up. Inhale, open to cow last time. And exhale, round up to cat. Pull those bellies in. Pushing back into child's pose. Sink those hips as low as they'll go. And then reach the arms forward. We'll just drop the forehead down. Try to relax as we take a few breaths in child's pose. Preparing for our modified flow series. Inhale forward into kneeling plank. Hands directly beneath shoulders. Slowly lower. Push straight up and push back into child's pose. We'll do this 2 times. Inhale forward, kneeling plank. Exhale, slow lower. Inhale, push straight up. Exhale, push back, activating those triceps. Inhale forward. Exhale, lower down last time. Inhale, lift straight up. Exhale, push back. Resting in child's pose. Just noticing how our shoulders feel. Take a couple of breaths. Let's check in with our body. Notice how we feel at this very moment. Slow inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Walk our hands over to the right edge of our mat. Place that left hand on top as we pull down the entire left side of our body. Notice any release we may be feeling through that left arm and through the hip. And then slowly walk those arms over towards the left edge of the mat. The right arm on top as we pull down that right side. Any sensation localizing in one spot, just be aware of. Notice what we're feeling, where we're feeling it. And slowly walk the hands into the middle. We'll take ourselves up through tabletop, curl the toes, lift the hips, finding down dog. Now take your time getting into down dog. Press away from the hands, lift up through those hips. Just start puddling out the feet. Walking the dog, working through those arches, through the toes, heels come down towards the ground. Making sure we're happy with the shoulders, and then find the feet stable as we come forward into plank. Chaturanga, slow lower. We can do this from our knees or stay on the top of our toes. Inhale, scoop up for cobra. Amazing. Exhale, push back. Down dog or child if you'd prefer. We'll do this flow series 2 more times. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, slow lower. Inhale, cobra stretch up. Exhale, pushing back. One more time. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, press back. Now, regardless of which position we finished in, child or down dog, let's walk our hands and feet all together at the top of our mat, coming up halfway into monkey. Feet are about hips width distance apart. Hands are pressing onto our shins or our thighs. Knees are soft. Shoulders pulling together. Belly buttons pulling up. Let's just keep our necks long as we check in with our posture. Transfer the weight into the heels as we sit up nice and tall, finding chair pose. Nice flat back, arms lifted, shoulders pulled together. If the arms aren't happy there, they find heart center. Just wiggle the toes, making sure they're good. Weight shifted in the heels as we sit down just a little bit lower. Now big inhale, lift arms up. Exhale, release. Very nice. All right. At this point, if you'd like to grab a drink, please feel free to. We are going to do a few exercises standing. So what I'll ask us to do is just find ourselves coming into mountain pose. Legs are about hips width distance apart. We'll ensure that all 4 corners of our feet are on the ground. Why we double check this is sometimes we don't even realize we might be leaning or we may be rolling. We want to establish really nice posture and lifting from the foundation up. Roll those shoulders, open the arms, proud across the chest, tall through the crown of our head. I'm going to close my eyes as I take just a couple of deep breaths here, acknowledging our stability, our support, our strength, our pride, our peace, that level of calmness that we can establish with our breathing. Preparing for lateral extension. We inhale, both arms tall up above our head, and then exhale as we lift the right arm a little bit taller, shift the weight into that right foot, opening up that entire right side of the body. Trying to keep ear and shoulder away from one another. Noticing that stretch through the side body. We inhale, lift that left arm up now. And exhale, lower the right. As we do so, just shift that weight into the left leg. Noticing the lengthening that's happening, that expansiveness through that left side. Inhale, both arms up. And exhale, release. Taking our feet nice and wide, if you need to turn to the long edge of your mat, feel free to. We're going to turn the toes open as we come into a little bit of heat building through our sunflowers. Roll those shoulders down, happy with the legs wider than the hips, soft knees. We inhale, lift the arms up, and now exhale, pick up blankets off the floor. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, just a few times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, working through the hips and shoulders. Inhale, lift. Exhale, one more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Inhale, lift up tall. Now with our palms up to the ceiling, exhale into sun pose. Maybe walk your feet out a little bit farther. Keep the hands on top of the elbows so they're a little bit higher. Those knees are pointing out over the toes. Shoulders are down. Rib cage is tight. Abs are pulled in. As we hold the sun above the head, we're going to feel this through our arms, through our thighs. Take a couple nice big breaths. Feeling all that heat building. Big inhale, lift up. Exhale, release. Shaking everything out as we prepare for our warrior series. Grabbing water whenever you need it. I'll ask that we start in warrior one with our right foot forward. What am I trying to say? The right knee is on top of the right ankle. Pressing, there we go, the left foot back behind us. Flat feet with the hips and shoulders remaining square to the front. Let's lift those arms up, shoulders down. Remembering that arms can be held also in heart center. Just want to ensure the collars are open, the core is zipped up nice and tall. Warrior one allows us to find that peace, the 2-foot balance, holding our lunge, finding that support, finding the rhythm of our breath, opening up into warrior two. Heel toeing the feet apart a little bit if we need a little bit more length. We're trying to imagine our body flat up against a wall, sandwiched between two walls in front and behind, keeping our body really flat on that imaginary line, pressing away from that back foot, forward into the front knee, keeping that knee pressing open, touching that wall that's behind us. We're going to be here for a little bit, so if you need to at any point, just go ahead and straighten the leg or relax the arms. Otherwise, lots of intention, lots of power through the body, lots of strength and pride across the chest and the arms. From our warrior two, as I mentioned, we're staying in this position. We're going to come down into side angle. Bend the right arm at 90 degrees. We bring it down onto the arm, the arm down onto the leg. That left arm can come up really nice and high to the ceiling. Know where the hand is. If that's not comfortable, we just bring it behind our back. We're going to hold side angle, getting deeper through the hips, never sinking through the shoulder. Always make sure that that arm can be moved if we need it to. Finding that strength. Now from here, we're going to incorporate some arm circles. We'll start by taking the arm forward, down, and lift it all the way up. Again, forward, down, and lift up, working within your range of motion. Whatever is comfortable for your shoulders today. Let's really find a little bit of stretch here. Finding some freedom in that joint one more time. And then hold that arm up. Inhale, lift your body up to warrior two as we prepare for triangle. Straighten out the leg. Pitch that hip back a little bit, reaching forward as far as you can before bringing that hand down towards the bottom leg. That left arm again high to the sky. If the arm's not happy, just bring it behind your back. Staying here, I'm just going to give you another angle. Making that triangle-like shape, connecting the dot from that top hand in through the bottom foot, across the floor, and then from the foot up the hand, making that 3-point triangle. Beautiful. Softening that knee as we inhale, lift all the way up. Finding ourselves in a waterfall, coming all the way down, stepping back through plank, and pressing back into down dog or child's pose. Take a couple breaths. And the option is going to be for you to join me in a flow series or to stay here in your stretching pose. If you're joining me in flow, we inhale forward to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, lift up for cobra. Exhale, press back, down dog or child. Just one more time. Inhale forward. Exhale, slow lower. Inhale, scoop up, long neck. Exhale, press back. Now all together, wherever we are, we walk our hands and feet up, coming halfway up to monkey. Again, soft knees, hands press against shins or thighs as we draw those shoulders together, lift the bellies into place, long necks. Softening those legs, inhale, reverse swan dive, lift tall above head to prayer. And exhale, sweep, and just relax here. Rolling those shoulders, grabbing a drink of water, removing any layers if you need to, as we prepare for our second side of our warrior series. Find the place on your mat, in your floor, whenever you're ready. We're just going to establish warrior one. There's no rush to get into the position as we place this time the left foot in front, the right leg behind. As soon as you're able to join me, we draw the knee forward, the arms up. And then even if our balance isn't there today, we might be looking forward, or we can close our eyes. Noticing what our balance is doing. This warrior one pose is such a great position to just take a moment and reflect on that. We've got a very sturdy base of support. One more inhale. Exhale, release the arms to our side. Open up to warrior two. Bending into that left knee, broaden the feet if you need to make them bigger, roll the shoulders down, bring the bellies in tight, keep that knee pressing back. I was double checking my arms. I want them stacked right on top of the legs. There's that imaginary line running on the ground. Everything is stacked up tall. So much energy out of those fingers allows us to really work on those postural muscles as we open wide across the collar. From this position, we're going to come down into side angle. That left elbow bends at 90, coming down to the thigh, reaching that right arm up high, palm faces forward. Recognize if the arm can stay high or if it needs to come down behind our back. Noticing we're not leaning or sinking into that shoulder, but always lifting out, always working with wide collar. Noticing what's happening through that inner left thigh, continuing to work that knee towards a 90-degree angle, opening up that hip. Preparing for our circles. We bring that top arm forward if we're able to, down and around. Front, down, and around, finding that range of motion. Will be different for everyone. Watch your breathing, watch that bottom arm's not sinking. Lifting up nice and tall one more time. Circle forward, arm, and lift. Good, now coming out of this, we take a big inhale, warrior two. Prepare for triangle. We straighten out that leg, hitch the hip as we reach forward, then take the arm down. We can reach that top arm up. Staying here, again, I'll show out just from a different angle. We've got warrior two. We straighten the leg, hitch that hip, giving ourselves lots of space as we bring the arm down and then up to the ceiling. Trying to make that triangle, never leaning. That bottom arm's not necessary. We're not grabbing onto the leg. It's just there for support. Really working the strength through the side body, regardless of where we're positioned. Feels great to open up the shoulders like this. Now softening that knee. Big inhale, open up warrior two. Let's exhale, spiral down. Coming down through plank. Pressing back into down dog or child's pose. The option will be yours again, whether you join me in a stretch or flow. Ready? We inhale forward to plank. Exhale, chaturanga, that controlled lower, elbow brushing the rib cage. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, press back. One more. Inhale forward. Exhale, slow lower. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, press back. Take our time as we walk hands and feet together. Finding that monkey pose one last time. Pull the shoulders in, belly buttons come up higher, long necks. Softening those knees, inhale, reverse. And exhale, release. Amazing. Again, grabbing that drink if it's necessary. We're going to do just a few more poses standing before we take ourselves down for final resting on the floor. Happy with your space in the room? Mountain pose to start, Tadasana. Feet hips width distance apart or narrower if that's preferred. Find the four corners of the feet lifting up from the arches, zipping up through the inner thighs, open across chest, strong and proud through tall crown of head. Inhale those arms up. Now exhale, release the hands down, taking fists behind our back. Placing those hands right in the dimples above the glutes, the very bottom of the back, squeezing those elbows together. See if we can squeeze the elbows around an imaginary ball. Soften your knees as we lift the chest, looking up into a back bend. I'm going to turn to the side just so you can see. Keep the bellies in, the hips right underneath of us. Knees are soft to allow for that upper back bend. Never leaning, just opening the chest. Squeeze those elbows for one more big inhale. Exhale, release. Taking another big inhale, lift up. Now exhale the hands behind us. Interlace the fingers. Soften the knees as we open the chest. Again, I'll turn to the side so you can see. Open the chest. Now some of us will be able to hold the hands. Others, we just pretend. Now we can stay here, or for those of you interested in adding a leg stretch, we'll start to hinge at the hips as we find forward fold. Keeping those arms, if we're able to, allowing them to really open up, stretching through the front of the shoulders, opening those sore chest muscles. A couple nice big breaths. Softening the arms, releasing them as we take our time, slowly rolling up and all together reestablishing Tadasana. Amazing. Our final standing position is going to be dancer. For balance sake, if you'd like to bring yourself close to a wall or a table or a chair, just in case you need to touch it. Otherwise, we're in the center of our room, stretching through the right side of our body to start. From Tadasana, we extend that right leg behind. With our right hand exposed to the top, we grab the inside of our ankle, rolling the shoulder open, the knee into position. Bringing that left arm either onto a surface for help or keeping it raised in front of us, we start to push the foot back, causing the body to lean forward only at the reason of the right leg needing to lift higher. Does the body move more forward? We try to keep our head up tall, always wearing that crown. Notice any stretch happening through that right side of body. Trying to keep both shoulders and hips facing forward as best we can. So notice I'm not looking anywhere. I'm trying to find a spot that I can continue staring at, allowing me to have just a little bit better balance. Taking one more big inhale. And exhale, slowly release. I'll encourage that we fidget. This just helps with some blood and circulation coming down through those feet and through the arms. Reestablishing Tadasana as we repeat that balance now with the left side. Start with a little hip extension. That leg comes back behind us. As the left hand's open, we just grab the inside of ankle if we're able to. Rolling hip and shoulder into square position. Right arm holds on to something or reaches forward. We can stay here, or for those of us getting just a little bit bigger today, we start kicking that foot back, leaving the hips still as long as we can. Eventually, if the foot comes up high enough, we need to bring the body a little bit forward. Notice that you can't see my shoulder, my leg, my arm, because it's directly behind me. I'm keeping my body facing forward. As soon as we start to twist or open, that's when we lose our balance. We come out of alignment. We'll see if we can do this through just one more big inhale. And exhale, release. Fidget, fidget, fidget. Walking ourselves to the very top of our mat. Big inhale, lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Completely relax over. Couple nice big breaths. Let your neck go. And slowly come down all the way onto hands and knees, pressing back into child's pose. Just staying in child's for a moment. Taking a few deep breaths, noticing how that feels. And now slowly, as we come up through table again, we'll sweep those legs around in front of us, making sure that we're comfortable. Sometimes when we're sitting in yoga class, it's actually really beneficial to have a yoga block, a bolster, a pillow, a rolled up blanket or towel just to sit on. That can be the difference of us remaining tall with our posture or having to slouch over. Being mindful of that if you need any aids or equipment. From this position, I'll ask that we come into a seated spinal twist. The right foot is going to come up beside the left leg. We can have the foot on the inside or outside. Now I am going to progress this. So we'll start with seated spinal twist, lifting up really nice and tall. Take that right arm behind us. Take the left arm in front, whether we're lifting the hand up or I like to actually hug it. This reminds me to keep my shoulder back. Otherwise, I prop it forward and that's never nice to bring it out of alignment. So if I take this position, I'm out of alignment. But if I take this position, I can draw my shoulder back. Just be aware of what works for you as we sit up really tall and look over that right arm. Again, as I reminded you, not slouching, but sitting up tall, always proud across collars, and always tall through crown of head. For one final inhale, exhale, release to the middle. Now staying here, we're going to either repeat our seated spinal twist, what we just did, or you can join me in finding your Turkish twist. Turkish twist, you can take that top knee and just bend it, having the knee point forward. That top of the foot or your shoelaces trying to touch the floor behind you. So I've got my footing close to my bum. This is a great position to start. If you're able to go the next level, you're going to take this left foot and do the exact same thing. Try to bring it towards the right hip, stacking knee on top of knee, both shoelaces trying to get on top of the floor. Now, if this right hip has lifted, we need to just set it down. And if it's no longer a possibility to set it down, we're going to reverse through the progression, see if we're able just to straighten the leg or if we need to return to that seated spinal twist position. Okay, so finding that position that is comfortable for your body with both sits bones on the ground, that top right knee is the important knee. From here, we take that right arm behind, thread that left elbow through, and look over the right shoulder. Lots of options here. We can continue to keep the arm just pressing against. If we have balance well enough to lift both hands off the ground, we can press them in heart center, pitching our body forward, leaning forward just ever so slightly, and then turning over that right shoulder. Opening across the collar, getting just a little bit more out of the shoulders, the back, especially the upper back, and more specifically now, down through the obliques and the hip on that right side. One more big inhale. Exhale, release. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Take our time and just bring those legs out straight. And with them straight out in front of you, making sure that we are still in a good position as we repeat that now with the left leg. We'll start with the seated spinal twist, hugging that knee into the body. The foot can be on the inside or outside. Noticing again, sits bones are on the ground, kneecap is straight to the ceiling. Look over that left shoulder as we bring the right elbow around, either a hug or a press. Be aware of the collars, keeping them open, being mindful of the body position. As we just spend a couple of breaths sitting up tall, continuing to rotate around that left shoulder, Noticing what we're feeling, mostly through the rib cage, that thoracic spine, a little bit through the shoulder blades, maybe some through the hips. Final big breath in, and exhale, release forward, keeping the legs. Trying the progressions with me, stopping or reversing whenever you feel you need to. We start by just crossing that left knee now directly on top of the right knee. The foot is trying to come back next to the hip. We could stay here. We could try to bring that right foot as close to the left hip as possible. See how I just brought my thumb back down to the floor? Both sits bones are down. If they're not, we reverse, bringing that right leg out front again. We can keep this left knee on top or bring it back. All right, so not to confuse you with too many options, I'm going to reestablish my position here with knee on top of knee, both feet on the ground, hips on the floor, sitting up ever so tall. We bring the left arm behind us, right elbow threads through, and we hold that spinal twist. Finding the Turkish twist, if the legs are there, we may be able to bring both hands, palms together. Heart center is where the hands are held, collars stay open. Perhaps we're able to lean forward and maybe even look over that left shoulder a little bit more. Keeping both sides of the hips on the ground. Watch your breathing as this is intense. You don't want fight or flight to kick in, but remaining relaxed and calm, slowing that exhale. Feeling this through the back, specifically the upper back, the shoulders, a little bit down to the obliques and into that left hip. One more inhale. Exhale, release. Take your time. Take your time. Finding butterfly. Just letting those hips really open up here. Just wiggling mine in. That was intense for me as well. Holding the ankles, sitting up ever so tall. Let's start to hinge forward. Elbows can stay tucked in or press into the knees. Round the neck if you need that extra little bit. And then just slowly rolling up, helping those knees together. Oh, and slowly laying down all the way onto our mats. If you've got any socks, sweaters, blankets that need to come on, feel free to bring those. Otherwise, as we come down here, we can bring the knees into our chest. Maybe even rock side to side. Everyone getting into position on our backs, preparing for our final stretch, which will be our spinal twist laying on the ground, just in case we missed anything in the seated position. We lift those knees up about 90 degrees, arms come out to the side to support the body. Take an inhale at the top. Lowering the legs to the right, we exhale. As the legs come down to the floor, let's press the shoulders into the mat and look over that left arm. You can even use that right hand to just press the knees down a little bit more as we really slow our breathing. Relax your body, remaining focused and present. Inhale, lift the knees up together towards the ceiling, and then exhale, lower to the left. Try to relax the shoulders as we look over that right arm. Noticing how we feel. Relieving any stress, any tension, becoming aware of any lingering knots in the back, the hips, the shoulders. Inhale, lifting the knees up. Maybe giving ourselves that one last big hug as we find our feet coming down to the floor, maybe knees together, toes apart in restorative posture, or maybe feet together, knees apart in butterfly. I'm going to extend my legs out into Shavasana, traditional relaxing position here, knowing there's no right or wrong. Find a position that you're comfortable in, allowing those arms to also rest and relax, whether it's on your belly, your hips, or out to the side. Closing our eyes, relax the chest and shoulders. And let the belly rise and fall. Noticing our breath deepening, taking more full, more complete breaths. With our abdominal muscles relaxing, finding more room for the lungs and the diaphragm to work. Noticing with each exhale, the shoulders just sinking, the face relaxing, the legs becoming both heavier and weightless at the same time. Taking one final big breath in. And exhale completely. Starting to wiggle our fingers and toes. Rolling the wrists and ankles in little circles. Noticing if there's any position we need to find in order to happily exit the supine work, laying flat on our backs. And when you're ready, coming over onto our sides through fetal position into a seated posture. We can say our final goodbye together. Whether you're in easy seated, half lotus, or full, let's make sure that again, we're sitting up just nice and tall. Taking that final big breath in together. Big inhale, hands up to prayer. Exhale, coming down through heart center. Namaste. Thank you very much. I hope you have a wonderful day.